Sophie stood at the edge of the fog-drenched town of Silent Hill, clutching the letter that had drawn her here. It was from her childhood hero, the famous artist who vanished mysteriously years ago. The words on the page were cryptic, yet strangely intimate, hinting at a secret only she could uncover. As Sophie stepped onto the abandoned streets, the fog curled around her like a living entity, obscuring the world beyond with a thick, suffocating veil. The town was as silent as the name suggested, but beneath that silence was a tension, a whispered promise of horrors yet to be revealed. The streets twisted and turned like a labyrinth, leading Sophie to places that felt both familiar and alien. She found herself standing before the husk of an old school, its windows shattered like eyes that had seen too much. As she wandered through the darkened hallways, echoes of a child's laughter reverberated off the walls, transforming into guttural cries that sent shivers down her spine. Each room she entered was a tableau of decay, and in one classroom, she came face to face with a grotesque figure, a twisted amalgamation of her childhood idol. It reached out, its fingers like paintbrushes dripping with a viscous, black substance that threatened to engulf her. Memories surged unbidden, transporting Sophie back to the day she lost her sister in a tragic accident. She was just a child, and the guilt had gnawed at her ever since. The creatures of Silent Hill seemed to sense this, manifesting into nightmarish parodies of her past tormentors, each one a reminder of her failings. The hospital loomed ahead, an edifice of rust and ruin, where the air was thick with the scent of antiseptic and despair. Inside, she stumbled upon a room filled with old paintings, each depicting scenes from her past that she had long tried to forget. The images shifted, the paint bubbling and morphing into scenes of horror that forced her to confront the truth she'd buried deep within. As Sophie fled through the fog, the boundaries between reality and nightmare blurred until she could no longer tell where one ended and the other began. She reached the edge of town, where the mist thinned slightly, teasing her with the possibility of escape. Yet, as she took a step forward, the fog seemed to close in, whispering doubts into her ear, reminding her of the unfinished story she left behind. Was this place a purgatory of her own making, or was she destined to wander these haunted streets forever? With the letter still clutched in her hand, Sophie turned back toward the heart of Silent Hill, uncertain if redemption lay ahead or if she was forever ensnared in her own personal nightmare.